Ghana begin their AFCON 2025 qualifiers on a wrong foot after a shock 1-0 home defeat against Angola. Gambia's new head coach, Johnny Mckinstry, begins his tenure in charge with mixed reactions as his Scorpions side drew with Comoros 1-0. Hello there and welcome to your favorites weekly sports program, Sports Talk on West Africa Democracy Radio 94.9 FM, Dakar, Senegal. And hey, my name is Sankulleh Janko. Also coming up, Nigeria's new head coach Bruno Labbadia may not actually assume his new role at all as the German and Nigeria Football Federation NFF dispute over the payment of his taxes. Meanwhile, Victor Osimhen sacks his agent Roberto Calenda after failing to secure him a deal away from Naples. And Cristiano Ronaldo becomes the first footballer ever to score 900 career goals. Details of these and more coming up shortly. Welcome to the program, and you can join our discussions hashtag Sports Talk on X, formerly Twitter and Instagram at WADR News. On Facebook, West Africa Democracy Radio English Service, and online at wadr.org. Also, leave me a message via WhatsApp at +221 7818 45421. Again, at +221 7818 45421. Ghana began their AFCON 2025 qualifiers on a wrong foot after a shock 1-0 home defeat against Angola at the packed Baba Yara Stadium in Kumasi. Despite star-studded Black Stars team that featured Thomas Partey, Mohamed Kudus, Jordan Ayew and Abdul Fattah Ishaku, Ghana failed to find the back of the net. Felicio Melson scored 3 minutes into the stoppage time to give Angola's Palancras Negres the maximum points. I saw the thoughts of Nigerian football expert Tolson Holmes on what he makes of Ghana's defeat to Angola.
Let's quickly take a little bit about, of course, AFCON qualifiers. We've seen match day one, very interesting results. But let's begin with your neighbours, Ghana. It was a shocking 1-0 defeat in front of their home fans in Kumasi against Angola. Did you see that coming? Because we are talking about a very good Ghanaian side here.
Let me be honest, I didn't see it coming, but I read in the papers that the coach of Angola, Pedro Goncalves, he was talking very tough coming into this game. And some of the things he said, I knew this man meant business. You know, there's a way a coach will talk and you would know, okay, this man is on one. And he said something that really struck me. He said the last time we came here, we lost 1-0. It was due to luck. Ghana won because of luck. I mean, there's no way an opponent says that and says, oh, if you say that, you better back it up when you meet the second time.
And
that was exactly, yes. And that was exactly what the did. They backed it up. They were everywhere. They frustrated the Ghanaians. They didn't allow them get space. I think the turf was a bit of a problem for Ghana because they were trying to play a certain type of way and it didn't work out. And the moment the goal went in stoppage time, you just knew even if they played 100 minutes more, Angola was still going to win the game. Sadly for them, I mean, I really thought that it was going to be a win for Ghana, but because I like the coach and I like the fans and I like, I have a lot of friends there, but I did not stay away from bantering them the moment the result was complete.
Of course, the banter between Ghana and Nigeria always go on, particularly in football. But, I mean, let me ask you this. What do you think is going so wrong for Ghana? Because in the past couple of years, it's not been right for Ghanaian football, I would say. We've seen their dismal performance in the recent AFCON tournaments, in Cameroon as well as in Abidjan, in Ivory Coast. We've seen their performance in Qatar World Cup. And they have the players. One would wonder what is really, really wrong with Ghanaian football.
A wise man told me that Ghana are like Manchester United. Maybe that's the problem. I'll be honest with you. I'd lie if I say I knew. I'm trying to relate it to Nigeria and say that politicking is one of the things that's destroying African football. And that's because there's so much emphasis on what is politically right more than an emphasis on winning. There's so much emphasis on development. And because there's not so much emphasis on development, given the talent that Ghana have, they should not be struggling. But they are struggling. And that's the thing. And if a team like Ghana is struggling, you then begin to wonder what the hope is, what the expectation is for other teams. If a team like Ghana is struggling, and they're doing everything right at other levels. They've got an under-20 team. They got an under-23 team. They got an under-19 team, an under-18 team, under-17 team. So those, building blocks have been laid. But then you also have the small matter of when stadiums are not available.
That was Nigerian sports expert Tosin Holmes there. We'll be back to Tom's momentarily, but let's shift our attention to Gambia's new head coach, Johnny Mckinstry, who began his new role in charge with mixed reactions as he led Gambia to a 1-1 draw against Comoros in the AFCON qualifiers. Comoros took the lead thanks to Captain Yusuf Mchagana's 37th-minute beautiful free kick. Gambia's Musa Barrow responded with an even better free kick to level the scores. Earlier, I spoke to Gambian sports journalist Ibrahim Akebi Sanko on what he made of Johnny's performance after his first game in charge.
Johnny, he fancies himself to be called. I think his real task started yesterday. If you look at the TOR of the coach, that's the of the coach and his contract, he must qualify the Gambia for 2025. Then for me, I think he's a bit of an attacking coach. That's why a lot of Gambians like him. They fancy him. There are no complaints for the meantime. The only moon is going on. Despite that, we started, the Gambia started the AFCON qualifiers with a draw. In a mildly dominated, they have chances to win one fortunately. It was a 1-1 scintillating draw. But fairly, for me, I think, he might not necessarily be an upgrade to some success, but at least, he's playing, the kind of football he's playing is something the Gambians were yearning for. But if results are not coming on the way of the Scorpions, a lot of complaints will be happening in the coming days.
Someone told me that it's very difficult to be a coach of the Gambia because, for example, Tom Sanfei, people were complaining that his football he was not playing beautiful football, but he was giving Gambia results. And now, of course, it's too early to judge for Johnny, but he's playing beautiful football. And some would say the results is what matters. What is it? Is it results or beautiful football for Gambians?
Well, I think, right now, if you check our football, what we need is results, more of results than beautiful football. Because if you check, we are low down in the pecking orders in FIFA ranking. Our ranking in Africa too is not good at all. So only results in competitive matches and, arrange official friendly matches can upgrade our ranking currently. But I think it's a bit of both because in this current Gambian side, I don't think to depend on, you don't have to unnecessarily depend for the entire 90 minutes. Then, if we can play high in the third half of our opponent, we can create chances. I think, in fact, that's where we have more dangerous than even defending and hitting our people, our opponents for counter.
Finally, KB, on the Gambia, are you still sure or are you convinced that Johnny would lead the Gambia to their third AFCON appearance?
I think Tom have set the benchmark. He has qualified the Gambia to back-to-back AFCON to tournament, both in Cameroon in 2021 and last year in Cote d'Ivoire. So, also reason why he was hired, it was clearly to play this, to upgrade our ball, to play better football. And the underlying word is he must qualify the Gambia to 2025 AFCON in both of his just the start. So with this current team, yes, we started with against Comoros. So many Gambians, underrated Comoros, but there are no more pushovers, in African football. Remember, they topped their World Cup qualifying group in a group that consists of Ghana. So if you, put Gambia and Ghana in a scale, Ghana will obviously way down the Gambia, but notwithstanding this football. So today Morocco also needed a last gap to beat Madagascar, and the Gambia in this game is against Tunisia. So it will be very difficult for the Gambia to grab the 3 points, but why not? If they want to qualify for the third time in AFCON, they have to beat Tunisia because that's what we need. We need at least 4 points in these 2 matches. So, we are dealt with the fourth blow by drawing 1-1 against Comoros. So, we must not lose against Tunisia. That's what I would say.
You mustn't lose
even
against.
If we can win, we can draw, then we do the double-legged tie against Madagascar, hopefully. But then, if CAF grants gives the Independence Stadium a pass, then we can play at home in one of those bootlegger times, then even collect 4 points or at most 6.
Of course, at most 6. But let's see how things panned out for the Gambia's Scorpions. I mean, in their quest for a third consecutive appearance in the AFCON.
Other results so far played in match day 1 of the AFCON 2025 qualifiers are as follows. Central African Republic 3, Lesotho 1, Congo 1, South Sudan 0, Guinea-Bissau 1, Eswatini 0. Guinea-Bissau, of course, continued to show progress on continental stage with a 1-0 win over Eswatini. Baomote's men took the lead early through Burangure's 14th minute goal and dominated much of the match. However, they were unable to extend their advantage despite several attacking opportunities. Meanwhile, Algeria 2, Equatorial Guinea 0, Tunisia 1, Madagascar 0, Sudan 1, Niger 0, Tanzania and Ethiopia, it was a goalless draw, and Libya 1, Rwanda 1. Now, Nigeria's new head coach, Bruno Labbadia, may not assume his new role as the Super Eagles coach at all, as the German and NFF disputes over the payment of his taxes. This comes as it's been confirmed that Augustine Ogovon will lead the Super Eagles in their opening AFCON 2025 qualifying campaign against Benin. Well, for more on this development, let's rejoin Nigerian sports expert Holcim Toms.
With Bruno Labbadia, I think it's almost confirmed that he will not be the Super Eagles coach now because of the contract disputes. The NFF is saying that German tax laws have prevented them from getting their man. So almost certainly, Austin Eguavon takes temporary charge of the team till that issue is resolved, if it will ever get resolved. I don't think it will be resolved, but there are those who believe and those that tell us because they are with the grapevine. They say they're hearing from the grapevine that the issue could be resolved and then Bruno could coach Nigeria again, but I don't think that issue will be resolved. Knowing the kind of country that I'm from, we're a very unique set of people, and we rarely resolve things like this. It's just what we do with Nigerians.
So there's a chance that he might not even coach Nigeria at all.
He will never coach Nigeria. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he will ever coach Nigeria. It's just the reality of what it is. That's just the sad bit. So, it is such an interesting situation. The way the matter's been handled has been shameful, I'll be honest with you. Also just say this as a matter of factly, that it's very important for Austin Eguavon to send a strong message here. If he can win this game, then he makes a case for himself as the Super Eagles coach, and we'll have to wait and see if in the long run he will be able to justify that appointment as well.
So what seems to be the dispute here exactly that is preventing, of course, Labbadia from taking charge?
Yes, so the NFF are blaming German tax laws. The man says that the organizational structures are the reason why he's not going to take the job, but the NFF are saying it's German tax laws. So, you have to choose who to believe now. I would believe German NFF, I'm sorry. But the NFF is saying that it's due to German tax laws and that he wanted the NFF to pay the tax for him, and he said he wasn't going to pay it. So, and the NFF said they can't afford to do that because that's the reason why they're looking for a cheap coach. Tom Sonfield was supposed to be the candidate for the role. Somehow, everyone pivoted and went for Labbadia, and now Tom Sonfield has gone to Mali. Lead Mali to the AFCON. We would have to hope that Austin Eguavon does the same with Nigeria. Benin Republic, our opponent on match day 1. I'm pretty sure that General Rowe would have been preparing for Labbadia tactics, but now he has to prepare for Eguavon tactics. And General Rowe does not like Austin Eguavon. So it will be interesting to see how that game goes, and it will be very interesting.
Meanwhile, Nigeria international Victor Osimhen has sacked his agent Roberto Calenda amid his transfer saga, according to media reports. The Super Eagles forward is said to be reportedly not happy with Calenda's incompetence as he tried to engage a permanent move away from the Serie A side Napoli.
What more can you tell us about Victor Osimhen sacking his agent?
Yeah, so just before the move to Galatasaray, well, let's just say the entire move to Galatasaray was negotiated by Victor Osimhen and the man who goes by the name of Gabriel Ganti. The people who negotiated the move to Galatasaray, they were not on good terms. They were not on talking terms. Transpired in the last few months with Napoli. Roberto Calenda took charge as Victor Osimhen after he moved to Napoli in 2021. He took over from Willem Davia, who was the one who brokered the transfer. Davila was the man who got Osimhen to Lille as well. So this is not the first time, particularly, that Victor will change agents. And Calenda used to manage Maicon, but the moment it became pretty clear that he could not get Victor out of Naples, Victor began to look at other options as well, because transfers were not materializing and Napoli were frustrating every effort to ensure that Victor did not get the move that he desired. He was very close to a move to Paris Saint-Germain. Somehow the plug was pulled on that transfer in the last minute. He was very close to going to Saudi as well with Al Ahly Jeddah. That transfer did not materialize in the last minute as well. So it left us with Chelsea, and Chelsea were not willing to pay his salary, were not willing to pay his wages. And at that point in time, the young man realized perhaps it was just best that they both went separate ways. There was nothing deep about it. It was just a mutual parting of ways.
But why do you think? I mean, Napoli wants to frustrate Victor so badly. I mean, why don't they want to let go of the player? I mean, if he's not part of the project anymore.
Yeah, so it's quite an interesting one there with the way things went in April. So let me just quickly give a short backstory so that everybody knows. 130 was the total for the transfer after he signed, and no was willing to meet that, and because no club was willing to pass him right. He was offered to several clubs, Arsenal, Chelsea as well. Liverpool reportedly inquired about him, but the clubs were not willing to share that much. And then when PSG realized, okay, we could be needing an offered 90 million.
I mean, do you think? I mean, in my opinion, do you think? I mean, Napoli should have actually treated the way they did. They treated Victor, because we are talking about a player who led them to their first Scudetto after 30 years. What must have led to, I mean, this relationship to go down the drain this quickly?
You know, obviously, you know, it's a business, and for Napoli, they wanted a certain price, a certain amount for their prized assets, and they were willing to stick to it regardless of whatever anybody said, which is understandable. And for Victor, he wanted to get the move, and because he wasn't getting the move that he so desired, he decided that it was best to activate the possible means to get that move, which was handing a transfer request when it looked like the club was not being reasonable with their demand. And, you know, it did make sense in the grand scheme of things that both sides did what they felt was best to, you know, for themselves as well. And I think that was the most important thing, that everybody did what they felt was most important to themselves. I mean, we can go back and forth about how poorly he was treated, because we know he wasn't treated well. But for it to have gotten that bad, I think Napoli were just being businessmen, and because they were being businessmen, they didn't care about our feelings or whose ox was gored. And, you know, it's okay if we get hurt, if our feelings get hurt, but, you know, for them, it doesn't mean anything. You understand?
Yeah, of course, businessmen sometimes they have very little emotions. They consider very little human aspect of things. But how would you describe the move to Galatasaray though for Victor? Bearing in mind, if he was in Napoli, he was going to stay. He wasn't going to be playing football at all.
Yeah, I'm happy that he got the move to Galatasaray. In fact, let me be honest with you. The transfer to Galatasaray, I anticipated it right from the moment that I heard the coach, Antonio Conte, say all the people that are out of the project are out of the project. I mean, the moment transfer deadline, the window closed and They could not get the deal done with Chelsea, despite the efforts. Chelsea were being inconsiderate with the demands they were making. They wanted him to earn less than Moise Caicedo, and just about the same wages as Cucurella, which is just not going to happen for an African Footballer of the Year, given that he signed a contract extension last year that took his wages up to 250,000 euros. So when he moved to Galatasaray and the terms of the loan agreements were reached, I thought it made sense for him to go to Turkey, because that was the next possible thing. The moment the move to Chelsea did not materialize, and the moment it was clear that the Saudis were pivoting after they got frustrated by Napoli, I think it just became really clear that he and his team had to move in a different direction. And the moment they reached out to Galatasaray, and Galatasaray said, okay, they could get the deal done, I think everything just moved pretty fast, because that was the only other smart option that was available. Indeed. Because of Galatasaray's pedigree and who they are.
Cristiano Ronaldo has become the first player in football history to score 900 goals after his cool finish to put Portugal 2-0 up against Croatia. According to the transfer market via the Daily Mail newspaper, Ronaldo's first ever goal came for Sporting Lisbon in a league game against Morensen in October 7, 2002. It took Ronaldo just over 5 years to reach 100 goals, achieving this landmark against Tottenham on January 27, 2008, from the penalty spot Mail reports. 7 years on, the forward passed 500 finishes thanks to a goal against Malmo in the Champions League group stage on September 30, 2015. Less than 9 years later, Ronaldo scored the remaining 400 and became the first man to get 900 career goals. Lionel Messi is the only other player to pass 800 goals, sitting on a total of 838 for club and country. Now let's get the thoughts of Ibrahim Sankulleh, the Gambian sports journalist who also doubles as an ardent Cristiano Ronaldo fan.
KB, of course, you are a dead Real Madrid fan, an ardent Real Madrid fan, and we've seen that your legend, Cristiano Ronaldo, in the European Nations Cup, scored his 900 career goal against, of course, Croatia. Oh my goodness. What a player. What a landmark achievement for the Portuguese international. I mean, it must be said, whether you are a Ronaldo fan or a Messi fan, Ronaldo needs to be given the recognition. It's indeed a landmark.
That's a milestone. No player on the court has ever scored 900 goals. Understand that Ronaldo will tell you that, all these 900 goals will be on video, and if people want evidence of that, he can prove that. And he can even, if they want him to score more than 1,000 goals, probably even, taking some goals from the video, from the training ground. Ronaldo is an exceptional player, a very good player. I'm not intending to throw any shadow on the legendary Pele, but he's, some supporters in South American football will tell you Pele has scored 1,000 goals, but there is no proof of Pele scoring 1,000 goals. But for Ronaldo, this is something that he has. He scored a 900 career milestone goal. No player has ever on record scored that. So he must be an exceptional player. I understand that, Messi is a fantastic player. It's a player that proves Ronaldo a lot. But I want to believe Ronaldo is the best ever footballer we have ever seen on this earth.
Do you think someone will break this record? I mean, this 900, because he still has time. I mean, Cristiano could probably play in the next 2 years because his body is exceptional. I mean, he takes care of his body so well. So, do you see him scoring 1,000 goals or perhaps getting close to it?
Well, it will be very difficult for him to score 1,000 goals, but I'm sure that is the benchmark he set for himself. He always do the undoable. So, in 2009, when Ronaldo was transferring to Real Madrid, no one wondered that he could go on to score, to be the highest ever scorer in the history of Real Madrid. He does that. He's the highest ever scorer in the history of the Champions League, and he did that. And now he scored 900 goals, career milestone goals. No player is even close to that. So Messi can challenge, but imagine, I'm not sure Messi is mentally ready as Ronaldo is, because Ronaldo taxed himself to score 1,000 goals before he retires. So hopefully, I'm sure if he can play an extra 2 seasons, he'll be able to bang 1,000 goals.
Finally, before I let you go, what do you think is the secret to Cristiano Ronaldo's success? He's immense. I mean, incredible, unprecedented success. What do you think is the secret to it?
Well, I want to believe, he only settled for the best. When, you can ask other players who is the best player in the world, and then they will try to beat around some great players in the 90s, in the 80s. You ask Ronaldo who is the best, he will tell you that I believe I am the best. So he set a benchmark so high for him, and so high for the rest of the players. So he keeps on, breaking barriers. Yes, I understand Messi is normally very close to him, and some will argue that Messi is more of a team player than Ronaldo. That is an argument for a different day. But in terms of goal scoring, I think he is the best ever we have seen in this world.
Well, that wraps today's Sports Talk. A big thank you to Holton Toms, a Nigerian sports expert, and Ibrahim Kebi Sankulleh, a Gambian sports journalist, for their expertise, and our listeners for tuning in. Don't forget to join us next time for more in-depth sports analysis and interviews. In the meantime, join our discussions, #Sports Talk on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at WADR News. On Facebook, West Africa Democrats Radio English Service, and online at WADR.org. Also, leave me a message via WhatsApp at +221 7818 45421. Again, at +221 7818 45421. Until then, I am Sankulleh Janko signing off from Sports Talk.